Sit right down and I'll show you where my dreams began.
I'm Michael Dugan, your culinary host, guiding you through the chef's journey. Join me at the chef's table, where you'll experience stories, secret sauces, signature dishes, and kitchen disasters. In part 2, Ericka takes us deeper into the culture, cuisine, and chefs of Peru. Ericka also introduces us to some local vendors in the markets of Lima and Peru. Ericka, why don't you give a shout out to a couple restaurants that aren't famous, but that you really think should be heard?
Okay, let's say not the ones that are really recognized in the whole, list or anything like that. It's one in particular that is in the market, and is for many years, I would say more than 10 years, this guy and his family been working in a small stand in the market, in a market called Surquillo Market. And this is funny because I met just going to the market to get my fish or to get fruits, and I was just walking around and see this beautiful and small and very clean fish stand. And then I meet the sister first. It's Mariela. Mariela is her name. I'm very close to her too. Every time, I go to the market, I need to visit her and hug her. Well, now COVID and everything, we try to be careful and keep our distance, but it's still it's a lovely lady that just welcome you with a big smile. Even we will see her smile in the whole heart that she transfers all her love. And she's like, oh, welcome to the market. We sell fish here and the variety of seafood. And
that's great.
That's what I learned is they started selling seafood and fish, right, in the small stand inside the market. And then the brother came to her to help her. And then he started I'm going to make some, soup and dishes and see if they would like to kind of eat over here. So it's okay, let's do it. And then the sister was kind of supporting the brother, and little by little, he get very popular around the market, and then he get one of the stands. And then that's when he started cooking in this stand. And I would say it's one of the best ceviches, in Lima.
Oh, wow.
And he started with that. Then they get another stand and then another stand so people can sit around the table, but inside the stand, it's kind of a sharing space. And a few years ago, he just have his own restaurant. So I will say, and his name, Ceviche is spelled C-E-B, Victor, I-C-H-E. And and his restaurant name is El-Cevichano. El is for D, E-L. Cevichano is the guy that makes ceviche. So that's how they call him, Cevichano. So that's his name. And that's the name of his restaurants too. So that's how, I feel these small places, even though it's not that fancy or many people are by the area, the neighborhood, and the people around probably know him already. But things like that is wow, this place, not many people know, locals know these places, right? And him, another lady that is also part of the market that become a whole restaurant is a lady who sell Anticuchos. The Anticuchos are a stick with the heart of the cow. So that's, and the same stories like that. This woman with kids, small kids, started selling these Anticuchos in the street in a little corner. And just little by little, you can superstar, selling that Anticuchos and have her own restaurant. And like I say, stories like that, millions probably, but it's just amazing. This is a whole, wow, how they make that, a reality. But yeah, things like that. I love every time that I visit and learn about somebody who is making their dreams come true, working hard.
Oh, definitely. So I have an idea. You just joined our Facebook group, and I'm really honored that you did. the Voice for Chefs Facebook group.
Yes.
Why don't you post some of these restaurants in the Facebook group so people can find out about them? Sure. And they can find out more about you as well. I think that would be really amazing to share that, because those are special. Those are really special things that if you're coming to Lima, to know about that and to be able to connect with people around that, I think it's just really special.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm like I say, I'm honored to, have the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people in my life in general. And I'm thankful, like just being here, talking to you and tell you a little bit about what I do.
I think you have a great career, and, it's interesting how you fell into it. But as you were going along and becoming gourmet food tour owner and travel owner with your Delectable Peru, did you run into any challenges, anything that was really tough to overcome? We call them forks in the road.
Sure. Like I said, the first thing is like people understanding what I was doing. I think that was
okay, right. The communication.
Exactly, that I need to speak.
I see. But okay, so Ericka, what kept you going? What kept you saying, you know what? I'm not going to give up? Because I don't give up on things. This podcast, I said, I'm not giving up. Mm-hmm. I'm just not giving up. It's going to happen. And it did. But what kept you going?
The passion of sharing Peru with the world, with everyone that talked to me, is like the first thing that will come, the first thing I will say, I'm Peruvian. I'm from Peru. That's what we have. And we have 2,000 potatoes and things like that. I think it comes just so natural. It's probably part of me, even without working on the field of the restaurants. I feel like this passion, this love that I feel every time that you see my face is going to be with a smile, because I'm talking what I love. That is my country, is my roots, the people I love. I think that will keep me going. Believe me, it was not easy. Just 2020 is hard for everyone, I know. But for us, in particular, in the whole travel, we were standby. So we were trying to figure out the ways and transform and kind of see the ways to promote people in the markets, or promote products or chocolates or something to kind of, diversify our service. And because it was not possible to be in front of people, even to travel places. So I knew it was going to be hard, but I was calling out and, talking with people, trying to do our best to support each other and have faith that, things will not stay the same forever. And that little by little, just, a couple of weeks is like, prove me that it's possible that things will change for the best, and that I can see restaurants, activated, and I see chefs that keep up, like standing there and waiting for a better, because I know everyone is, I don't need to pay a monthly rent, because I work from my office, but I know restaurants and stuff like that, they're like in red, because I know it's difficult for them to keep going, and I admire that. And if I can do something to support that and help them.
I knew when I met you that that's what you were about. And, to me, that's the greatest gift you can give, is to reach out and help other people in need.
I think that's part of our passion, right? Like I mentioned in the beginning, we are in the hospitality industry. So our work is not just think about ourselves, but think about the others, about how they make them feel good, and how you can support, making them feel like you are taking care of things. So I feel like that's big. And people like chefs, people in the travel, everywhere, I feel like they're standing there because they know it's going to be a time where things are coming back to, what it was, not probably in the same, but a little bit, that we can continue.
Right. So another question, and then we're going to get to cooking.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
What would you say that's not related to food are 5 things that you have to see in Lima?
In Lima, in the city. Lima is called I want to say it correctly, king, like the city of the kings, the king city. because of the whole colonial Spanish influence, right? So one of my favorite things to do is go to Lima Center, admire the whole architecture, the colonial,
the capital.
And
oh my gosh, I went to the capital. That was amazing.
You remember like the balconies with the wood balconies,
the design.
Exactly. That's one of the first thing, like I would say, is go to the city, to the downtown Lima, and just observe the whole structure. Like it's like kind of you just transport yourself to colonial times and see like the beautiful buildings and the balconies that are made with wood, with these details. Just the cathedral. I was sitting in the middle of the plaza. It's called Plaza Mayor. And just checking around you, it's kind of like you are like in a story time or something like that, because it's kind of transporting yourself to those times of the Spanish or the colonial, where you see this beautiful tall cathedral that is like, it's unbelievable. I just got like some pictures of like travelers that were eating their sandwich in front. And I was like, this is the perfect shot. You have your sandwich, you have the view, and a big cathedral. And then you have the palace, the president palace, right? And you have the opportunity to see like also around 12, sometimes, these events change because of the pandemic and all, but most of the times at 12, they have the change of the guards.
Oh, okay.
You see the whole, that's what they do around 12 to noon. And then the other buildings that is like the municipal building and like that are like just amazing to see. That would be one. And the museums, of course, the part of the history. We have like the catacombs to see. Another awesome museum is the Larco Museum. There are like all pre-Hispanic, colonial, like so much history just in there that make you feel like you're, like I say, transporting yourself to history. I live like part of me. I feel like history too, walking history, because just thinking about all the part of the school where we learn about Incas, about like the Spanish colonization, like the whole history that come together. Probably my kids right now, they don't understand like where I'm coming from. It's like when I go to museums and I admire all around me, it's like, this is, part of what I have when I was little. And the museums, Miraflores. Another thing I love to do is a walk around the Malecon. I think we talk about this, around to the cliffs of the Pacific Ocean. Probably also in the top things to do, walk around the Malecon where you have the view of the Pacific Ocean. And like it's called the Malecon and Costa Verde, like the ocean.
That's what we did.
Yes.
That's what my friend's brother, he took us there. It was amazing. I loved it. Oh my gosh.
And one of the 5 that you asked me also is visiting Barranco. This is a bohemian area that I think probably you told me you did this, and it's like a very relaxing place where you see art around you, a lot of writers, artists, and live in that area. And I will say also it's like just beautiful to be around there, walk around the plaza, around the Malecon, around this place called like the Sign Bridge, that is translate the Puente de los Suspiros. It's like, and the thing is, many couples, that visit us, they say, you hold your breath, since the beginning, and then until you cross, make a wish.
Oh, make a wish. Okay.
So you hold the breath. And then it's like, you promise to love me forever. Like, just yesterday, 2 days ago, no, I'm not going with you. Or something like that. Or like,
sure.
Yeah, let me do it with my best friend, not with my things like that. And you're like, it's so funny. But yeah, so those are my kind of favorite things too.
Those are your 5? There's one more that I remember, and I don't know what it's called, but I remember these fountains, and they were colored fountains all over this park in Lima. And they were shooting like all kinds of colors of the rainbow. That was really fun.
We'll be back after a quick break.
You don't know what to make for dinner again? You want to explore new cuisines, but you don't have time? What if you have new inspirations and we provide you with the ingredients and recipes? We know you want to travel, learn new foods, explore the world, but life's responsibilities keep getting in your way. What if you can bring those experiences to your home neatly packed into a box? Ladybug Collective is a subscription service that finds real people from around the world to create beautifully curated assortments of recipes, ingredients, and cultural content. Not only do we include cultural ingredients, but also a set of detailed recipe cards with instructions on how to use them. Each box also has a QR code that, when scanned, takes you to tons more global exploration to immerse yourself in. Everything from film to lifestyle, art to history, it all can be found here. Live your life to the fullest. Subscribe now and don't miss out on the next cultural adventure. Ladybug Collective. Always exploring.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's called El Parque de Aguas. The aguas is the water. So it's the Parque del Agua. That is more like the Lima Center, kind of in the way that you go to Lima Center.
Lima Center, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he took us there. That was really fun. And the food,
yeah.
We went to Miraflores.
Oh, yes, that's another area, very touristic. Like, we have so many districts inside the city, but I would say the most popular ones that many tourists go, that I always recommend, just go wherever you feel safe and comfortable. But I will say Miraflores, San Isidro, Barranco, Pueblo Libre, I love Jesus Maria, I love Barranco. Even like, I know La Victoria is where, like, I will say a lot of restaurants, a lot of hardworking people are gonna be, and it's just kind of like, try to be in the places where you can have access to visit, not just the same. Just try to kind of open your areas, but always, that's good with a local, with somebody who knows where they're going.
But what was special about Miraflores, we went there specifically to have this amazing Peruvian buffet, and they had dances and almost like they were doing a play. That was incredible because you got to see this authentic Peruvian food and try all these different foods from all over Peru. And I'll never forget that experience. That was just something we did. I think it was at the Marriott, actually.
Probably now that you mentioned the typical dances, could be another restaurant. It's called the Majuana. The Majuana is close to the Larcomar, but also they have now another location, if I'm correct, in Barranco. So it could be another place where you have the opportunity to see these typical dances, because another brought like a whole different world with the dances, with the music, that's the whole other part for another episode about music and artistic that you can talk about with Peru. Many singers or many songwriters, I talk with many about, like, oh my God, they are like in admiration mood, because there's so much about like our cajon peruano, that is like a wood box that they make music with that, and Creole music and things that you were like, wow, if you look into the whole variety of different folkloric, music, you will find unlimited. Probably you cannot count it with your hands. It's just more than that, because every region have typical dances. They have typical music too.
If we were to travel and you were thinking of traveling other than Peru, where would you go in the world? Would you travel to?
Well, I have a few places that I've never been yet. And like I say, and we talk about this influence, with Japan and our cuisine, that is the fusion of Japan and Peru. I don't know if you hear about this, but it's Nikkei. So this Nikkei food come from the whole history and the immigration. So the Nikkei is called somebody who came from like a family with families, and they born in Peru. So that's why it's called Nikkei. But also the fusion with Peruvian and Japanese is called Nikkei. So with that, I will say Japan is a place that I want to go, not just for food, of course, but to learn more about the whole history and the communities. And I have actually conversations with people from Japan, and they always mention Peru. And I'm so amazed they know so much about Peru. And also that we have so many friends that are, families and their great-grandparents are from Japan. So we cross so much information right there. So I would say that would be my top place to go. And not just for the food, like I mentioned, for the history, but also now that I'm in love with hikes. So I'm like planning something about hiking too. So
Oh,
that will be another
come to
opportunity.
Seattle. Come visit us in Seattle. We have amazing hikes, and we're
I
known
know.
from around the world. The Pacific Northwest has
Imagine.
incredible
And
hikes.
also I know you have a beautiful fish market, so something I have in my
That's
list
right.
too.
They
So
throw fish at the fish market.
exactly.
Yeah.
Another place that I want to go is Greece, because of
Okay.
also the history. Morocco.
Oh, Morocco.
Yes,
Yeah.
because of the
That's on my
food,
list.
the food and the markets. So yeah, and like I said, I have a long list like to go, and like also these food tour operators, like the community is so big. We connect with people. Actually, I already have a list of places like and friends there that do food tours, for example, and we connect already because 1 year you can go to Peru and do culinary tours, but the next year people who are foodie like us, they always wanna go places for the food. So
Right.
we have connections, like I said, from all over because we want to recommend, okay, this person, and immediately you have the person in mind because social media, things are for social media connections. Then you think about
Yeah.
this person and the tours they offer. So we kind of interact that way because we recommend other people that do the same.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm. So I'm happy that we're able to do this during times like this.
Okay, so I know you're not a chef, but you love food, and I'm sure you're a very good cook. Is there any time you had a kitchen disaster where it just did not work and something really went wrong?
You know what happened with that in particular is I'm a very I mentioned before this passion, but also I need to be with the mood of cooking. Like I know that come from love, right? I need to have a good mood to eat. If I'm like, no,
Oh, yeah.
and we have those days, we are human. So we have those days that you don't even want to talk with anybody. So in that day, I prefer not to cook. See, because I know it's not going to be good. It's not going to be with love. It's going to be a disaster. So that just with that. And for me, the cleaning, my kids, my daughter and my son, they know that I want to cook but clean, keep things clean. So that's the other thing. Probably disaster when we start doing like a cake and the flour go all over. That will be a disaster. But we manage
with the kids.
Exactly. Sometimes it's that, but I'm happy they also enjoy cooking. They learn so many Peruvian dishes, and they enjoy doing that too.
Oh, that's great. That's great. If you were stuck on a desert island, what one dish, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be Peruvian, it could be Japanese, it could be anything. What one dish would you want to have on a desert island?
In a desert, but like even if it's a desert, you cannot have anything. I could have a dish.
You could have it. You could have it.
I can have water, please. I need to
just one. Water. You can have water and one dish.
Ceviche, I would say. Even
you love it that much.
I love
that's
it.
fantastic. Yeah. I like ceviche a lot.
It's fresh. It's salty, but also like acid. It makes so much flavor and fresh. In general, I feel like it's a dish that have so many components. The dish need to have fish, but also the sweet potato in the side and corn and lime, and the snack that I love to put in there is canchita. That is a kind of corn that looks like a popcorn, but there's the seed of the popcorn, like the little thing, but then it's crunchy. So that, for example, it's so many components in the ceviche, and then the variety of ceviche that you can make so many plates just with the sauce, the lime, the salt, the pepper, and I do a little couple extra ingredients that make it so delicious. Even ginger. I need to send you that at some point. Maybe we can cook.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
So as we wrap up today, is there anything that you could share with people about if they were interested in becoming a tour guide? What advice could you give them so that they could be successful?
Well, I will say, just follow your heart and your tummy. Also.
Okay.
And if you have a dream to show your country or to show your culinary, not just your talents, but what is around you, just start writing what will be different to offer, and try to make like something that you have as a local extra special. I feel like everyone that visits like a place, they want to discover and see something that is not same. They want to kind of discover something unique, something different. So every time, believe it or not, I don't do like repetitive tours, which many people is like, yeah, you do the same. No, I always
Wow.
think about everybody's different. Everybody wants
Yeah.
different things. So I try to accommodate and do something like extra special for each traveler. Imagine that.
You're not expecting this, but I'm going to share this. So on your site, I saw a testimonial from Ruth, and I wanted to share it with the audience. Ruth says, I highly recommend Delectable tours when in Lima. The food in Peru is unique, and Ericka will show you the best places to appreciate the wide variety of foods. She provides a sampling of many drinks and delicacies, introduces you to chefs, and will tailor your tour to your specific requests. Quite an amazing experience. This is a memorable way to immerse yourself in the Peruvian cuisine. Thank you, Ericka. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's like, yes, without word. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I didn't expect, to read that from, my heart. I always say this, I do it with so much care, and like, thank you for that. I know I read it sometimes, like I feel so shy and I turn red. Just if you look at me, I will be like, oh my God, like so shy and to that. But I'm so happy that people feel like that way.
Well, you really have affected a lot of people in a very positive way. I can see it in the reviews, and I can just see it in how you explain what you do. The last thing is, how do our listeners find you?
Oh, thank you, Michael. Well, we have the website that is www.delectableperu.com. It's by Ericka La Madrid, of course. You will see my name. If you search for my name or my company, that is Delectable Peru, you will find me. But also my email is info@delectableperu.com. And in social media, the same in Instagram, Delectable Peru _food_tours. And Facebook, the same. Like I say, I always try to be very active on social media. And now, with Clubhouse, I love it because we can talk about what we love, and it's so real.
Yeah.
And like that. And I'll always respond. I think that so many brands are, that kind of give you like the way that it is now. They want to see more than the brand, the person that is behind the brand. So I'm there, if you look for me or if you write to that email, it's going to be me responding. And yeah, it's going to be guides, because I wish I can be in all the tours, but sometimes I get the help of other guides, when I'm traveling and doing other stuff. And yeah, but I always try to be very personal. So as the guy is myself connecting with them, as putting together with the driver, the next tour, but I'm always very responsive, like to the people that request my service.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I want to leave everyone with a quote. It's by Julia Child, who is one of my lifetime idols. And she says, people who love to eat are always the best people. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I love that. Now you remind me. That's one of my favorite quotes, I will say.
Really?
It's so true. It's so true.
I know.
It's fun people. It's people that is always happy. People that always discover, something good that they always want to try. Adventurous. And probably this is for another episode, or when you met somebody that traveled to another country, immediately the expats, they become these kind of tour guides because they want to show others what they discover. So it's something that we find in common. People that love food and experience like that, they become food tour guides because they want to show others what they discover.
That is so true. And, Julia Child was such an inspiration for the world.
Yeah, totally true.
Well, I want to thank you, Ericka, for coming on Voice for Chefs today. It was such a pleasure to have you, and you are truly a voice for Peru and a voice for chefs.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Very happy to be here talking to you, and thank you for the work you're doing, that conversations make you feel like you're close to people.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on Facebook. Find our website in the show notes. Subscribe on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen. Leave a comment with 5 stars, and stay tuned for the next episode of Voice for Chefs.